Hello, online moneymakers. This is Michelle Brubaker here. And today I'm just going to have a conversation and talk to you about things that I would do differently. And what prompted this conversation was that I have seen in just the last week multiple posts on Facebook, as well as some online forums on the internet that I go to, where people are asking, what should I do? I want to start a business online. And, and I got me to thinking, if I was brand spanking new, what would I do differently? If I had to start from the very beginning, starting from scratch, all over again, square one, with no knowledge or experience or skills or money to invest, what would I do? Where would I start at? So if you're brand new, this is definitely for you. Or if you are wanting to add an additional stream of income, this would be for you too. And I'm sharing my journey because, I'm opening up, being real, sharing, pulling back the veil to show you and talk to you about, where I failed and where I could do better. And if I did have to start all over, put my phone on silence there. If I did have to start all over, what would I have done differently? So those questions I'm going to talk about today are what were those things that were most successful in helping me to achieve my goals? What actions did I take that really helped me to get there? And what lessons have I learned, that things that I would not do again? And I do have a list of those for sure as well. And, it's not just my experience. It's I work with an amazing group of mentors and friends. My community online is just absolutely incredible, and I'm definitely not at the top pinnacle. I've done amazingly well, and I'm so filled with gratitude because of that. But also seeing where my friends are up here and, and I have friends, I'm kind of in between in there. So being able to share that collective experience, where would you, what have they done as well? What lessons are learned and things that we would do again? And then number three, what I know now, what would I have changed in my approach so that I could get there faster? What I know now, how could I have accelerated things looking back, that hindsight? And number four, what could I have done differently that would help me to bypass some of those roadblocks and obstacles that were in the way? How could I have missed some of those? And then the last one, as I'm going forward, because I'm always going forward, adding new streams all of the time. How am I taking all of that experience and all those things I've learned so that I can know that I can have the best possible chance at success in those things going forward? So those are the things I'm going to talk about today. My goal really is to just inspire you, educate, help you to learn this stuff, because I want you to get there. I want you to have a successful online business. There is no pitch. I am not selling anything here, no programs to buy, anything like that. Just having a real down-to-earth talk with you as if we are just sitting in the coffee shop. So I intend to, after this video is completed, the replay, whenever I see somebody that is wanting to start an online business or looking at opportunities on the internet, to be able to send them this video, because there's some really great lessons that I've learned over the course of all this. And I want you to learn from those, whether it's a success or a failure, because I've had those. We all do, right? We fail forward. So I want you to learn from all of that and just really inspire you to get going forward on that path. I totally believe you can do this. Anybody can do it. I've seen so many incredible people be able to create online businesses. So there is all belief in you that you can do it too. So I welcome you to this I welcome you if you're watching live or if you're watching the replay of that. I always love seeing who's here with me. Hi, welcome, Sharon. Hi, hello on Facebook, the folks over on Facebook. And I just want to say hello and welcome you too, Sharon, over on YouTube. Thank you. Hi, hello and welcome, Lisa and Brigitte. Thank you so much, and everyone watching live today. So I'm going to just dig right into these, and feel free to post questions occasionally, and I will keep going back and I'll occasionally go back and look at those and post them up here and answer them if I can for you. So the first question that I said I was going to talk about is, what actions were most successful to achieving my goals? What actions were most successful to achieving my goals? Well, I would have to say that finding community, finding groups, online and offline. Okay. Now, I was early on when I wanted to learn Amazon, for example. I wanted out of what I was doing. I wanted to create an Amazon business. I didn't know how. I was not going to throw down thousands of dollars for a course. And so in our local area, I am actually not far, about an hour out of Portland, Oregon, which is in the northwest corner of the United States. And I wanted to learn Amazon. So I went to a meetup, an e-commerce meetup, and it was at nighttime. And I don't like going out at night because I live in the country and the roads are dark and windy on the way home. And it was a very valuable experience. And those people are friends and mentors to me today. And they've never paid a dime for a course. And I'm, to be friends with people that are doing the most amazing thing I could possibly even imagine online. And I met them at just a regular meetup. So finding those groups and communities, and then the online Facebook groups too. There's so many groups out there, just like this one, who are very niche specific. So whatever that thing is that I'm trying to learn, I'll join a group about that and learn about that thing. So finding a community, and of course doing it where there's no fee, because I'm talking about how to do these things if you don't want to have to pay anything to get started. Maybe there's a small fee like $5 or something, or you have to pay for parking wherever you go. But finding community, and then I would also say staying motivated. Because it's easy to not be as motivated, especially if you're used to working in a corporate world and you're working just a couple hours on the weekend or a half an hour at night or early in the morning. It might be hard to stay motivated for something, whatever you're doing online. So what are those things that motivate you? Make a list. What is it? Do I need to, turn the music on loud? Do I need to have lots of coffee? What is that thing that keeps me motivated and inspired to keep going forward? Maybe I know what my reasons why, I'm trying to do this so I can pay off debt. What is it, And what's motivating is seeing other people's successes and being a part of those communities and groups. There'll be just one thing that I'll read and I'll be like, oh my gosh, that happened to me last week. I was reading in a group that I was in a program that I'm working on, and someone had just posted an amazing success. And I'm like, oh, I know, I'm just right behind them. I'm almost to that same point. And it's encouraging to see other people that are successful too. And that helps you to have belief in yourself. So with that being said, actions that are most successful to achieving your goals, finding that community. And then also without money, let's talk about that, because it really doesn't take any money to make money online, or you can start with a very small amount. So when I started selling on Amazon, I still do a little bit, but not as much as I used to. I started really small. So way back when I was telling you about how I started and went to the meetup, I just started with like $50. I bought some products and inventory, and I was able to flip that. And so just starting really small. Now, in this community that we're in right here, there's lots of videos. In fact, I've already interviewed Michael Senoff with his Money Shot. And you know what? The last half of that video is so powerful that he just gave it to us on how he gets things for free or next to nothing online and flips that for just fast cash. And same with Renee, who I also did a video with, Renee Duvall, who flips wood products or vintage furniture even. And she just flips that in a Facebook group. And Terry Fennell, he's retired, but here's this guy who's out there at garage sales and estate sales, and he tells amazing stories of the things that he found. So there's people with real life experience here in this group that have shared videos and I've interviewed them, and they've done this very thing, starting very, very small, So, and of course, later you can build that to a big, huge, much bigger thing like Carol and Dwight, who I also interviewed, and they're working more, they have larger Amazon stores, but they started small too. So taking that small amount of money or no money, if you have no money, do it for free, like Michael Senoff shares in his video at the end, or take that money and then just roll it over. So, and which is what I did. I started with $50 and I kept rolling it over and rolling it over and rolling it over till I had larger amount, and I reinvest that back into myself. Okay. Then I didn't have to have this big expense or this big out of pocket money to do it with. So starting really small. Okay. And of course, I'm going to talk about later how to do it with no money, because it really does take no money to make money online. And interestingly, I was thinking about that the other day, that it doesn't take any money to make money online, which is absolutely true. Okay. But I found that when later on, when I am making money, if I invest that back in, I make a whole lot more money. So I wanted to make sure I put that in there too. Okay. So in a moment, of course, I'll share those things about courses and on-demand products and things like that. One of the other actions on number one of the other actions that was most successful to helping me to achieve my personal goals was affiliates. And affiliates, of course, is a process where somebody else refers someone to you or your product, and they receive a commission for that. In fact, an affiliate business is an entire business model in and of itself too. And if you want to learn more about that, then in this group, I did a whole video all about affiliates. But that was one of the things that really brought a large audience to me. And so if you're looking to be an influencer or a trainer or coach or anything like that, highly recommend working with affiliates, because that really that brought in a huge audience. And it also, although there was an expense involved, the expense only came when somebody was referred. So that was one of the big things that number one helped me achieve my goals most successfully. So great. I'm going to take a drink and then go on to number two. What lessons have I learned that I would not do again? That's a good one, because I have done some things that I'm like, oh my gosh, I would never do that one again. Holy cow. Like, for example, the time that I bought out the entire store at a local shopping mall, a chain store that was closing, because you see so many stores are closing, like Sears and all those other ones. I actually did that. Yeah, I totally did. I went there, bought out the entire store when it was closing, and that was quite a, I mean, I didn't pay a lot of money for it. I think I only paid like $350 for like, I don't know, $3,000 worth of merchandise. So that was great, and I did profit from it. But large, big lots of inventory takes up a lot of space. It's very physical. It's a heck of a lot of fun, and I'll tell you that. I bought 6 pallet loads of Target shelf pulls one time, and which is about 10,000 units, and that was super duper fun. But oh my gosh, there was so much stuff everywhere, and it took months. I still think I have stuff around my house here from that. So would I not do that again? No, no, because number one, physically, you all know I broke my wrist last year. I mean, had I to have, and I had surgery and I got plates and screws and all that in there. But had I been doing that business at that time, I would not have been able to manage the business. I got to a point where I was so excited I could pull up my own pants. So I would definitely not be able to be packing and shipping and cutting labels and all that kind of stuff, or cutting, putting on envelopes and all that and peeling off the tape when I can't hardly use my hand. So it really taught me a lesson about that. I was very grateful that I'm no longer doing a big, large inventory-based business. And then also it's nice to not have that stuff sitting all around. But it was super fun. I will tell you that. It was very, very fun to do that. All right. So I wouldn't do inventory-based again, unless, of course, I bought a warehouse or something like that. But I still don't even know. I don't know. The other thing that a lesson I learned that I would make sure I didn't do again, I always would want to be original and not try to be like everyone else. And I say that for lots of things. I say that one for, of course, you know that I do book publishing business. And trying to be like everybody else doesn't work when you're publishing, because people want things that are unique. And so, and even here in this group, you know, what made me think I could step into this space and help people online? There's 5 billion websites all on the same topic. What makes me think I can step in here? And what it is that I'm not trying to copy anybody else. I'm just being me. And that's what people like, is they like you to be original. You don't want to be like everyone else. You have to be different. And so, you know, times where I tried to copy something online and it didn't work, those are things, always being yourself and being original and not trying to copy everyone else is what I would say too. I would also say things I would not do again. And I tell my own students this, is quit buying stuff. You buy this program and that program and this course and that course. You don't need to do that. Quit throwing down money for things. You know, there's some really beautiful websites out there that are very good at selling you their stuff. And, you know, and I'll ask my students, I'll say, why did you buy those pages about dinosaur coloring pages to put in a coloring book? Why did you buy that? Do you think it's going to sell? I mean, well, just because someone said it's really great, you don't know that. And quit buying things. You need to be original, you know, quit being like everybody else and do something unique and different, and quit buying stuff. So until you have the capital to buy things and invest into things, don't be buying all that other programs and stuff out there until you have that. Things I wouldn't do again, of course, I would always start with lower cost services. I remember one time I had signed up for a big software service and it was like $220 a month. And you know, it really touted it was going to be this amazing thing and do this great thing for your business. And it really didn't. And so, you know, did I use it to its full potential? No, I sure didn't. But at the same time, I could have started with something lower cost before I invested in something higher cost. So always when you're looking to start with lower cost or free services. Even email marketing, you can start with free email marketing services like MailChimp and other ones. You don't have to go with, you know, $100 or $200 a month programs out there. So those are the things I would say that I wouldn't do again, is buy a big lot of inventory, copy other people, buy expensive stuff, you know, those kinds of things. So yeah. Let's see, before I go into my next question, let me see if there's any other questions out here. Yes, she says, tell us the secrets. Yeah, I'll tell you. You know, I do. I always tell you stuff, you know. Happy to tell you just about every secret out there. Anything I know, if I don't know it, I'll go see if I can find the answer for you for sure. Number 3, knowing what I know now, how would I have changed my approach so that I could accelerate the process? How could I get here faster? Knowing what I know after all of that, how could I get to, you know, making X dollars a month? You know, I've gone from, hey, the internet's making me $30 a month, or it's making me $300 a month, or $3,000 a month, or 4 or 5 or 10 or 20 or whatever, 30. And so how do I get from, how could I get there faster? You know, to kind of like, how do I pay my bills off faster? And how do I, you know, get money in the savings faster? So how can I accelerate this process, knowing all of that and coming through all of those things? And I would say number 1, absolute number 1, always. I bet you know it. I'll bet you guys that are watching right now know it, because I've said it many times before, and that is doing your research. Do your research, okay? And Cordelia Blake just did an interview with me 2 days ago on this very subject, 5 ways to validate your next big idea. I highly recommend watching that. She went step by step for this. It's exactly what you need to do. And research is so powerful, because if I have an idea, it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to be a profitable idea. I publish books, and obviously I'm here to, you know, there's lots of ways to make money online. I've just kind of settled into about 3 or 4 of them right now, and that's one of them. So if I decide to make a next coloring book, I want to make sure I'm going to create one and invest my time and my resources in something that's actually going to sell. And if I do my research, it's going to tell me the more likely it is that something's going to sell. And I can't tell you how many times I'll see people say, oh, I just made a book about, a particular subject, or I'm creating this product about this subject. And I'll say, well, where did you get the idea from? Have you researched it? Do you know, is there a potential for that? Now, yes, we can do things because they're fun. You know what? It's absolutely fun. I love doing it. I love working online, and I could sit there and do it whether I made money or not. But I'll tell you what, I would rather make money if I'm going to do it. And because that money makes the world go round, and I love to give and support organizations. I also love to have fun in my life and spend money on my kids and my grandkids. I'm going to do that after I'm done with this video here, actually. And so I would rather make some money from my work online, and then with the money I make from that, go do all the things I enjoy doing for lots of fun. Okay. So do your research so you can get faster to that goal. Okay. Now, along with that research, okay, knowing what I know now, how could I get here faster? Well, I obviously would not have chosen an inventory-based business. Okay. And inventory being product I have to sit on my shelf, in my house or my closet or the attic or the garage or the shop or wherever in the world that you would store stuff. I'm so happy to have the crap out of here, I'll tell you. So now inventory business might work well for people. Okay. It works great for several of the people I've already interviewed. It works great for them. Now for me, I don't want to be spending my time reorganizing the shelf of products, but that's okay for some people. Now, the reason that I say it for me personally, I told you I'm going to share it from my heart, from me. And the reason that I share that for me is that the time that I spend, organizing the shelf and driving to the post office and putting labels on and all of that, that time that I spent is not as productive. Okay. I'm not like making money hour for hour on it. And it's a one-time shot. Okay. So if I find a really cool kitchen gadget at an estate sale, and I know I can flip it for some really great money, I might do it, but I don't want to have 500 of them in my house because then I have to deal with, dusting off the shelf and shipping those things. My method that I like doing, that I found that I enjoy the most for me, is things where I create it one time, create a product, and it sells over and over and over again. And I had several interviews with folks on here that do that. So I'm not promoting just print on demand books like I do on Amazon, coloring books and activity books. But Patty was on, and she does these amazing shirts, t-shirt business. And it's cool. She's from Chicago, and her interview was wonderful. And it's really neat to see how she has this favorite topic of hers, and she just puts it on shirts. She shares about that, and she uploads a design online, and someone buys the t-shirt. And when they buy the t-shirt, then they print it and ship it to the person. So now she doesn't have to keep t-shirts in her house. She doesn't have to make her own t-shirts in any way. She just uploads the design on the internet, people buy it, and then it's printed and shipped direct to them. So now there's that no inventory based business. And also, Fernando has been on here twice already on shows and talked about print on demand. In fact, I think he said there was about 20,000 products you could put print on demand on. So if you want to do a business, and I talked earlier about starting small with a small amount of money or no money for physically based products, this is a way, if you don't want to deal with physically based products, is to do the print on demand route, like Patty with her shirts and Fernando with print on demand. And also, even last week, we had Diana on who talked about digital products. So those are some really great ways to do it. So those are things that I would have changed. Looking back, if I would have said, hey, would I have had 10,000 units of Target shelf pulls in my house and all that store inventory, if instead of and I have nothing to show for that now, okay? That's the truth of the matter. Nothing, okay? I flipped the product, I bought it super low cheap and sold it for more, and I kept the difference of it. And that was a beautiful process, and it's over with. all the print-on-demand things that I just talked about, like with Patty and her shirts, or Fernando with his print-on-demand, or Diana with her digital products she sells on Etsy, then those products, you make it one time and you get paid over and over and over and over again. That's the thing I would have done differently, is if I'm going to invest my time spent in one area is time taken from another. So I would have done something where I would put in the work and the effort and then continue to always get paid for it, like the book royalties. That's what I would do. And then taking the money from that to invest up in my business to the next level of what it is that I want to do. Okay, that's what I would do differently. Knowing what I know now, how would I have changed the process? Yeah, change my approach to accelerate the process. One more thing I want to add to that list is quit trying to be perfect. That's what I would probably try to do. Because, I'm a former web designer, web developer. And so when I'm making my websites, I'm like, I might spend 20 minutes on one little tiny thing. And it's like, it doesn't really matter. Is that color or the line or whatever, is it exactly perfect? And I'm here to tell you, how many times have I bought a product from somebody else and I log into the dashboard of it and I see that it's not the way that I would have created it. In fact, it's very simple, very basic. And then I went to this big elaborate and spent all this extra time. So trying to be perfect when really, what do they say? Done is better than perfect. Just get it done. I've done that with book covers and books too sometimes, where I'm like, spend all this time tweaking and tweaking and tweaking. It's like, just get the darn thing done, okay? So quit trying to be perfect. In fact, I'm to the point now where even my own personal website, it's definitely not anywhere near where I would want it at. But had I not went forward with what I'm doing right now, I would be losing all this money. I mean, I'm making money on all the things I'm doing right now. But if I stopped that to go and jazz up Michelle's website, everything's working right now, and it'll work better when I get it done. So that was the other thing I would say to accelerate the process. Quit trying to tweak everything to be absolutely perfect. All right, I'm going to go on to number 4. Number 4, what could I have done differently that would have bypassed some of the roadblocks and obstacles? So I hope this one really helps you too. This is the things that get you off track and derailed is what I'm talking about. And I would say absolutely number 1, numeral uno is consistency. Even when I was on the goal to create 1,000 books, for example, I did that because I was consistent, and every single day I did a certain amount. And then when I quit, or didn't stay consistent with it. It also works with, for example, when I'm doing Amazon sponsored ads. If I'm paying attention and watching the market and watching the trends and watching my advertisements and how the data is telling me things, then I make more money. But when I get all busy and I don't look at it and I'm not paying attention, then things don't make as much money. So being consistent with things, that has been the thing that I know has worked successfully. And if I would have stayed consistent on things, okay, things would have been a lot easier. I would have a lot less roadblocks and obstacles in the road. Kind of along that same lines, why was I not consistent? Well, there is that shiny object syndrome in squirrels, right? Squirrel. Yes, I do that. I actually do that. And then I also have this attitude when I see something, I'll be like, well, I could do that. I think everybody I interview here I hear them and I'm like, oh, that sounds great. I could do that, but if I stop to do every single thing, that really is a roadblock for me. And it doesn't keep me focused on my end goal. And, seriously. So be really careful, to not be sidetracked by things. And I know, there's people that I know in my community that whatever comes out, they always go get this and they go buy that and they go do that. And they're always switching around between things. When in fact, if all of our efforts were focused on one thing and made it successful and then do the next thing and make it successful, that would be the best approach there. How could I have bypassed a roadblock? All right, here I'm getting down and real again, is that one thing that held me up one time was that I didn't have a credit card for my advertising. Okay. This happened to me. It really did actually happen to me several times. So what happens when I'm doing my sponsored ads? Advertisements cost money, but for every dollar you spend in advertising, if you get $2 or $3 or $5 or $10 back, I'm good with that, right? Who wouldn't be? I'm cool with that. I like my own little ATM machine, and I will push that money in as long as it keeps coming out, right? But what happened is I would use my credit card to put the money in, okay, and I would get the money back after I got paid, and I would pay the credit card down. Well, the credit card was only a $500 balance because previously squirreling syndromes caused me to have a low credit score. So I only had a $500 credit card. So what would happen would be my advertising spend would be $500.26. And then they would cancel my advertising because my credit card company would refuse to make the payment of that extra 26 cents. Then they would, after a couple of days, decide to go ahead and do it. And then my ads would have been off for a couple of days. And this happened several times, and if I'm not able to keep having that rollover, I'm losing money with that. And so I would have saved money in advance. There was one Christmas a few years ago where I had spent $1,200 on advertising, and of course I got it all back, and then a whole lot more. But that I spent $1,200 on advertising, and I ran out. It was like the 14th of December. I was like, oh my gosh, I have no credit card. I have nothing I could put back in, and not being prepared for that. I felt like I lost out that particular month for not having that. So I'm not telling you to go sign up for a credit card. I will tell you to save money because you don't know where you're going to need it in the future. So keep some money in an account that you have. So when you do need to invest in your business, that you can do that. Keep your credit good so you can get a card like that when you need it. And today, of course, they keep raising it up and up, which is super nice. And I continue to use that same system where I just pay it off every single month. So that's something that was a roadblock that I've been able to get around. Let's see. Always keep your goals out front. Oh, yes. I have them all over. I have them on the board back here. I have them on my refrigerator. Sometimes I put a sticky note on the car or on my computer. Actually, I do have sticky notes up here. Yeah, I have one right here. And so keep them around me. Keep it out front. I think I mentioned that before. Let's see. One other thing I did, and I did this last year, was I had a business coach for the year, and it was really great. It was a wonderful experience where I had that accountability all the time. So if that's something that you need in your business, I recommend seeking somebody out for that, because that was really helpful to me. And then finally, what would I have done differently to bypass those roadblocks and obstacles? Well, if having a goal of making a certain amount of money each month, I would have definitely focused on things that are more online instead of taking that time on the inventory like I was talking about. So solely online things to me are print on demand, like such as books, all the online courses that I've created, which are out there, and people can buy them 6 months later, even they're out there. So focusing on those kinds of activities, that's what if I did, where would I be a couple of years if I'd have done it sooner? That's all I can think of. But those are the things that would help me to bypass some of those roadblocks. And then the last one, number 5, just one moment. Number 5, as I continue to add new streams, which, by the way, I am all of the time, adding new streams of online income, how am I using all of these things here and all that I've learned so that I can make sure I have the best chance and best success possible going forwards? Okay, and this is a really great question because I'm always doing that, always going forwards with things. I would say always reinvesting back in. Okay. And it doesn't have to be a lot, even just a little bit, and upgrading. Like I said earlier, it doesn't take money to make money, but it takes money to make more money. And I'm noticing that I'm able to do that. And that's really a great place to be in when you can do that. So always be reinvesting back in the business. Always being flexible with the changing landscape of the internet. You know, the internet changes all of the time. There's always new products out there. There's new opportunities on the internet. Okay, and to be flexible with those things and see how can they fit in with what it is that you're doing. How can they do that? What kind of platforms and technology? People tell me, they're like, hey, Michelle, have you heard of such and such? And sometimes I have, but sometimes I haven't, because the internet changes so rapidly that I'm always hearing about these new things. But I don't chase after those things. I evaluate it, look at what I currently have. Maybe it's an email software or a website software or plugin or a tool. Well, the tool I have is already working. I don't need to invest $200 a month in that particular tool just because it's a great tool and everybody loves it and says it's great. But the one I have really already is working well. So sometimes it is something I need to do as well. So yeah, for example, when I invested in affiliate software, that was a step up. And when I was able to reinvest back in my business to do that, that worked for me. So being flexible with the way that the things change online, realize that, hey, I might go down this one path, but it might also take a curve too, depending on what that opportunity is online or what platform, what sales channel, what technology, all, whatever goes with it. And then the one other thing too is always being willing to learn. And I want to say that kind of in the tech area, I have learned so much in the tech area. People close to me know that I'm already very techy and geeky, which I am. And I've still had to step out even more into that space. And, when we can start doing those things that are just a little bit on the technical side, it saves us having to pay somebody else to do it, for one. If I can learn a little bit of a tech tool, even if it's just something as simple as creating a graphic, I don't have to hire a graphic designer to do it. If you can do a little bit of that yourself, providing that you can, learn how to do a quality job of it, then I'm not paying somebody. And also it's faster. It's much faster. In fact, one of my recent courses I did, I've done a couple of them on, how to fast track your book publishing and hacks with PowerPoint to do your publishing faster. And even if I do know something already, is there a way I can do it faster? And I've been doing that even in my own business. I'm like, oh, okay. What is a way to streamline that? Because that efficiency allows me additional time that I could be spending on something else. So always being willing to learn, always learning new, faster ways and more efficient ways to do things. And I had just a couple more. As I continue to add new streams of income, how am I using all that I learned to go forward? I want to talk about connecting with people, connecting with my audience and people who are on my email subscriber list, people in my Facebook communities, keeping connected with them. And that kind of goes with the consistency thing, right? Sometimes I just get in my own world and I don't go back and be consistent. And I'm always trying to be consistent with that. But connecting with your audience is so, so important. And whether it's your customers online that are buying your product, whether you're delivering a good product and service to them. In fact, Michael Senoff, who I mentioned earlier on his interview I did on Money Shot, the first portion of that interview is all about connecting with your audience and email marketing. It is absolutely phenomenal. And I love that guy, and his emails are amazing. So if you want to learn more about email marketing, watch that free video in here. It's super good. But we also had some interviews with other folks too about community. Carla Trigo out in New York, total opposite side of the country as me, amazing. And she talked about that, creating online community, whatever the product is. And even Raven, the talk show maven, amazing woman. She talked about how to start a podcast series so you could profit fast. But what she said in there was about how to reach and what message, how do you want to reach your audience? What message do you have with that audience? My message in this community is that anybody can start a business on the internet, and to take people who are brand new and they don't know where to go and they don't know what to do, and to just give them this information so that they can do it, and give them the belief that they can do it. So what she said in there is to know what is that message, who is the audience that you want to reach. So serving the community, serving your customers, serving your clients, that's where I'm moving, always taking that with me forwards. It's very easy. All the online business opportunities I've talked about before are completely anonymous. You know what? I could today, I could step away. Nobody would see or know me online of what products I created. I've created products that nobody knows I have online, well, a few close friends, but there's anonymity to that. And so if I don't want to be known, I could step back, go do that, continue to make a wonderful income and not share with the world out here that I am. Okay. But to me, that's what I want to do as well. I'm in both of those places. I'm still making my money and I'm here to help. I always want to pay it forward because this is such a wonderful gift and I'm filled with gratitude for all that I've been able to accomplish. And I want other people to have that too and be able to serve the community. So that's where I'm taking things forwards. And of course, as I always go forwards, no matter whatever door that is to step through, taking that research experience and moving forward into the next thing. So just because I have the capital to go invest in the next product, I still need to research that because I want to hang on to my money too. I don't want to throw it away. I want to make sure it's going to be reinvested into a profitable, the next product and the next program that I create. So always researching everything. So those are, wow, I didn't realize time went flying so fast. That's amazing. That's wonderful. But this is powerful information for people. And I want to, I'm just going to go over to Facebook and check out YouTube, see if we have any questions real quick before I wrap it up, see who's with me. Wow, we have a number of people with us. Great. All right. So let's see. Sharon says, you're making too much sense and my toes are getting sore. That's so cute. I love it. Yes. There's a lot of information there. Yes. And let me go over on Facebook and see who do we have with us here on Facebook. Wonderful. If you have questions, please feel free to post those. Good afternoon. Thank you. Welcome. Great. I love it. I'm so happy that you're all here. I want you to be successful. I totally believe that you can. You've got this. There is enough information right now, today in this group with the interviews that we have to get you started. And I have a wonderful lineup of folks for next month. You're going to love them. They've got such amazing information to share about how to do things. And I'm going to continue to bring you quality education and information so that you can be successful on the internet. So feel free to post your questions here below. I try to go back and answer as many of those that I can or answer them live right now in the video as well. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to this channel. Hit the little bell icon so that you can get notified of new videos when they come out. And share it with someone who is interested in starting an online business so they can know these important steps to get there and achieve their goals faster, whether you have knowledge or skills or money or whatever, or you don't. Here's the things that will help get you there. If you're watching on Facebook, if this is something that someone you know might be interested in, please tag them or share this post with them. And then, of course, join this group and like this video. Thank you so much. Thank you. I love the thumbs up that's right there. Thank you for that. Thank you for giving the thumbs up. And have a wonderful and fabulous day. I will see you in the next live video. And so go out there and make some money in the world and do good with it. I will see you next time.